Man.
I almost knocked my headphones off. And I hurt.
Aloha, Mr. Hond.
Hello there, Jackie. How are you?
I'm good. I noticed we're both in our summer gear.
We sure are. No sleeves until September.
I'm showing, as Hoover might say, what are you wearing, a sweater? Marianne Moffat broke my heart.
Little patch of pubes.
Well, Hunter, you had the idea for us to get back together and talk about summer-themed horror movies. And I thought that was such a great idea. It was such a bright idea that I'm going to wear shades.
Thanks, Tony Stark.
That's right.
Hey, we skipped winter and spring, so we're due for something to do in summer.
Yep.
Oh, look at you drinking the whiskey.
Out of my Bigfoot glass.
Do you think we were, recording Final Guys tonight?
We're
We're sitting here drinking.
It's the same chair.
That's true. Same chair, but different people. By the way, I think this summer marks 7 years of Monster Men.
Wow.
7 frickin' years. That's crazy.
God bless us.
We took a little break, everybody, but we're back. In fact, we're here now on Skype, but we're also getting back into the Monster Men studio soon. We're going to crank out lots of new crap for you guys. Guys and ghouls.
The momentum to Halloween is starting now.
That's right. It was fine to break before. You could see us on Final Guys if you wanted us. But now here we are back, brothers.
It's a different show.
So, well, different.
It's funny that you should mention that, hey, why don't we talk about summer-themed horror movies? Because a friend of ours on Skype had written to me today or yesterday saying, hey, there's a heat wave in England, and give me some ideas for a movie marathon. So I wrote back to her and I said, well, Jaws for the beach, Sleepaway Camp for the camp, and then The Thing to cool off.
That's a great idea.
But
the Thing does make you cold no matter when you watch it.
Oh, yeah. So I think it's good because when we head into Halloween, as soon as September rolls around, we start gearing up into the Halloween movie mode. You get into October. By this time, we're ODing on horror movies. And then we get to November, we're like, I got to take a break. Then suddenly it's the race to get all the movies for the year in so we could do our best of lists.
When every streaming company is just dumping every horror movie from December 1st on, and we're like, holy crap, we got to watch everything. Yeah. It's nuts.
So, I think when you talk about the summer movies, I mean, Jaws is clearly the king daddy, the big fish.
I knew as soon as I said that, I said to you, I said, Jack, you got to talk about Jaws. That's your thing.
The beauty of it is now that we live in the internet age, every date ever mentioned in a movie is a thing on the internet. So there's great things because so much stuff with Jaws happens around the 4th of July. You get the mayor, we've got a panic on the 4th of July. And a couple of days earlier is the day that the Kittner boy gets killed and stuff like that. So Jaws has become synonymous with the 4th of July. I have Jaws socks that I was wearing that week. I have many Jaws shirts. So,
ladies,
yes,
line right up. This man has Jaws socks and shirts. Many.
Yes. The great thing is, though, if you think about summer-themed movies, all the Jaws movies are, all the crappy sequels have their summer theme to them. But I always think of Jaws 3 and they're at SeaWorld because it's such a vacation spot. So anytime I go to any sort of maritime museum or aquarium or something, there's always a little part of me that imagines to hear Lou Gossett Jr. come on the PA. Can be attention, ladies and gentlemen. If you please exit the attraction as soon as possible. And see just a giant...
Lou Gossett Jr., who was the man before Samuel Jackson came along.
Yes.
Remember when we saw him at Schiller Theater?
Yeah, he looked old and tired.
He got mold poisoning in his house.
Oh, damn.
That's what destroyed his health was mold poisoning. He was in a wheelchair. He was heavy when we saw him.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was unrecognizable.
it was years ago. But yeah, back in the day, Officer and a Gentleman. That was my parents' favorite movie, which didn't register until I watched it like later. I'm like, oh, that's like a sex movie. They're watching it all the time with wine.
Ow. Love lift us up where we belong.
Where the eagles cry.
Now, your favorite shark movie is The Shallows with sweet Blake Lively.
Yeah, that's my shark movie. Only because I'm such a shallow jerk.
Listen, I don't think it's a great movie, but I love it, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. It's not great by any means. It's fun, and it's one of those I cannot pass by it. As soon as I'm channel surfing, boom, it's like glue. I'm like, I can't hit the next channel. Must watch this to the end.
Now, The Meg is coming out later this summer, and I'm all over this movie. It looks funny.
I just read the book.
Oh,
last week. Book. Yes, it's Steve Alton who did the Loch Ness Monster. There are 6. I didn't realize there were 6 Meg books that he published across various publishers. Kudos to him for managing this.
How's the book?
The book, now the version that I got, it's the paperback that you'll find in stores now. So it's got a short novella in the front. It's almost like 50 pages or so. And then it's got the original Meg, but he rewrote it to match his writing style in current day. It took a while to get going, but when it got going, once it got going, it was nonstop. But then it got to Shallow's ridiculousness, and I was like, "Oh, whatever. Okay, sure, I'll go with this."
I actually think that the dude from The Office, who's in this, is going to help this movie.
Is it Rainn Wilson in it?
Yeah, it's Rainn Wilson. Because there's just one part where he goes, "Why don't we just tag it?" And then it looks and goes, "Don't you guys ever watch Shark Week?"
Yeah, I think the movie's going to have to veer a lot from the source material, but it's all there. The bones are there. It just depends what they do with it.
Well, it looks like they're having fun with it. So if they have fun with it, because it looks like a sci-fi movie with a good budget.
Yes, and the book it's got some hard science in it, but sometimes he just beats you over the head with the same thing over and over again. But like I said, it's just a fun, crazy summer. It's a perfect summer read. So I'm looking forward, even if it's a total disaster, I'm still going to watch The Meg. Meg wouldn't work. Did you notice that? Hollywood had to change to The Meg.
Because it would have been a Family Guy movie.
Meg. So yeah, weird.
A shark movie that if you want, you and I watch this together. If you're looking for a shark movie that nobody talks about, watch The Reef.
Oh, The Reef is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Everybody talks about deep blue sea and Open Water, Open Water is a good movie, but it's...
Yes. Not a lot of shark. It's mostly about people treading water.
The good thing about that, though, is they use real sharks.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a really good thing of anytime you look down in the water and you see things, so there's a lot of tension in open water. But The Reef is a good movie that nobody ever talks about.
Is it Australian?
I think it might be.
I think it's Australian. The Australians know what the hell they're doing, and they should know about sharks. Half the population of Australia dies to shark bites every year. Did you know that?
Anytime somebody comes back from a vacation in Australia and they're talking how beautiful it is, I'm always like, oh my God, everything's trying to kill you in Australia. There's sharks, there's saltwater crocodiles, spiders, wasps, snakes.
The sun.
The sun.
You ever notice everyone in Australia past the age of 35 starts to look like jerky?
Oh,
Except Nicole Kidman, but she left Australia, so that's why she's preserved.
Well, she's preserved by plastic surgery, too.
And a hyperbaric chamber that she got from Michael Jackson's estate. The Reef is a good choice. I like that.
That was the one we watched with your little niece. It was like, oh, is it the shark?
Are sharks real? No. Go away.
Now, that led me to think about the Piranha series.
Just watched Piranha 3D last week.
Ah, nice.
On regular TV, which is a totally different experience.
Those movies are fun.
I love those movies. What they did, I love the original Piranha.
Mm-hmm. What was that? 1978.
It was in the 70s. Yeah, wasn't that John Sayles or something? It was like big time heavy
Wasn't
hitters.
it Corman?
Corman, I think, produced it, but there were heavy hitters working behind the scenes on it.
James Cameron was involved with like part 2, I think, wasn't he?
Oh God, I can't even. Off the top of my head, can't remember. It's all jumbled.
Yeah.
But when they came out with that Piranha 3D, I thought that was brilliant. Brilliant.
And there's then the sequel, Double D's.
Double D's. I met the porn star who I think is in 3D, Gianna Michaels, who was
Is she the blonde?
No, well, she was the one who was parasailing, and then when she came back up, there was like half of her or something like that. She's brunette in real life. Maybe she was blonde in the movie. I can't remember.
One of the porn stars in that movie is a blonde, and she does like a dance underwater with the other one who's got the...
Oh, yes. It wasn't her.
She's not an ugly person, my God.
And Jerry O'Connell is great in that movie. Save my penis!
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that movie you didn't expect to be. What's his name? Adam. The guy who's in...
Parks and Rec?
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Yep. Elizabeth Shue.
That's right.
Who's awesome.
I gotta go back and watch this 78 one again. It's been so long.
I'm surprised I don't own it, and I have to rectify that someday soon.
What do you got? You had something in mind when you wanted to talk about.
Well, you were talking about shark movies. Here's one no one ever talks about. Shark Night. Remember that one?
I saw that in the theater.
You did?
I saw it in the theater. Let me say one thing. Sarah Paxton and Catherine McPhee in bikinis on a large screen. It was worth every minute.
That's what I figured.
What a stupid movie that is. But
it's so stupid.
If you stay till after the credits, the cast does a rap video about the movie that I don't know why we stayed. But we were just sitting there or something, and all of a sudden, like, the credits are going, and then, like, a Marvel stinger, this thing happens, and this hilarious video happens. You can probably see it on YouTube.
Right. You were probably hoping Catherine McPhee would come back out in the bikini one more time and just say or do something. Or you're just stunned.
One second. There's a guy gets his arm bit off in that movie, and then, like, a few hours later, he's back in the water challenging the sharks.
Yeah, why not? And weren't they lake sharks?
Yeah, so it was like an inlet where there was like fresh water and salt water, so the
brackish water.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie though. Again, it's not good, but it's fun. It has all the ingredients you need for just a good time sitting down watching a summer movie.
You just made me think of another one, Bait. The one where the parking garage gets flooded and the supermarket gets flooded.
My wife watches that all the time. We have the regular version and the 3D version.
Oh my God.
It has Sharni Vinson from You're Next, who's in it. And that guy from, was it Charmed?
Julian McMahon.
Yeah.
Also Dr. Doom from the...
Exactly. From the
Fantastic Four.
That's a fun movie too. Good beach movie. Watch a tsunami come and then people try to survive inside an underground supermarket. Whatever. But that's what summer movies are about. It's about surf, sand, water, bikinis, blood.
Sand. That's what you said.
Well, the movie I wanted to talk about is Blood Sand. I don't know if you've seen this. It's on cable all the time.
I think I've heard of it. I know Blood Beach.
Blood Beach, which I have that movie.
Oh, we should watch that when I come over. Oh. It's been so long.
Yeah, I got it. Blood Sand is 4 really attractive girls in their bikinis. A couple of guys. One of the guys was from like Hannah, Montana. And like some big African-American dude who eventually gets stuck in a garbage pail with his fat belly hanging over it and a penis drawn on the side of his face. And basically underneath the sand are these things, like if you step on the sand, these tendrils come up and wrap themselves around you, start to burn you, and then suck you into the sand.
Is this called Blood Sand or just The Sand?
It's blood sand.
Because there's something else called The Sand that sounds like the same movie. Maybe they're just two titles.
Blood Sand it's awesome. You can't look away from this movie. It's stupid as hell.
It sounds like a sequel to Blood Beach, because Blood Beach was a monster under the sand, too.
Exactly. It's just a new take on it, a cheaper take with some awful 3D effects, but it doesn't matter. It's just fun watching 20-somethings try to survive.
The great thing about Blood Beach, that came out around the time of Jaws and Jaws 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they took the tagline, like, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, you can't get to it.
Why not? Robbery is a form of flattery.
And isn't Paulie from Rocky in that movie?
Oh, God. Burt Young? He might be.
I think he is.
He used to own a restaurant by us. And you could go in there any day, and he was just sitting there, just having drinks at the bar, would talk to you or whatever. He was an interesting dude. What's that so I can say about? Oh, Blood Sand also stars Jamie Kennedy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, not stars. He's in it at one
Features.
point. As like yes, he's a beach cop looking halfway hellish on his way to Tremors 6 or whatever we watched, and looking totally dead. But he was funnier in Blood Sand than he was in Tremors. I think they let him say his own lines or whatever, and he was pointing out the ridiculousness of the movie and the situation. So it was kind of cool. Another one I was going to talk about was not a movie whatsoever. It's an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Oh.
You ever see the episode where the woman is living in a world where the Earth is getting closer and closer to the sun, and pretty soon everyone's going to die? So she's a painter, and you just get so hot watching this. Everyone is sweating. They can't breathe. There's no food. The electrical grid is going out little by little. They're conserving power. They have just these little fans. And towards the end, her paintings are the paint is melting off the canvas and everything.
Oh.
And in true Twilight Zone fashion, as she passes out in this world where everything's coming closer and closer to the sun, it turns out it's the opposite, where the Earth is hurtling away from the sun and everyone's freezing to death.
Oh.
I wish I should have looked up the name before we got on here, but that's one of my top 10 Twilight Zone episodes. So that's a great summer one too.
So you're saying episodes just made me think of there's the Creepshow movies, and there's one of the segments that takes place on like a raft in a lake.
The Raft. Yes,
and that's a big famous one. But then there's also the one with Leslie Nielsen where they bury people in the beach, and the tide comes in.
Ted Danson. Ted Danson was he cheating or something?
You can't kill me. I'm already dead. Already dead.
Yeah, and then the camera gets set up so you can watch him slowly drown. Yeah, that was when I showed my daughter when she was like 16 Creepshow for the first time. That was her favorite part of Creepshow, which kind of shocked me. I thought she'd like Jordy Verrill or E.G. Marshall with the bugs, but no, that was her favorite.
I think that was my favorite.
God, they were all my favorite. I was obsessed with the bugs.
I actually wasn't a big fan of that movie. I thought it was okay.
Oh, I loved it. I loved you know what? I owned the comic book too. And it played at the Kent Theater by me for quite a while. So we saw it again and again and again and again. So it just and then it was right at the cusp of videotapes for us, and we just would rent it constantly. Jordy Verrill. I loved Stephen King as Jordy Verrill, the guy who's getting taken over by the grass coming out of the meteor. It's so dumb when you watch it now, but when I was a kid, I thought it was awesome.
Is Creepshow the movie with Dan Aykroyd? You want to see something really scary? Or is that Twilight Zone?
I think that's Twilight Zone. Thanks for the ride, lady.
They're playing Credence.
Dan Aykroyd. Remember when he used to do that thing on Saturday Night Live with the Halloween costumes?
Yeah.
Johnny Human Torch with oily rags and a lighter.
Bag of glass.
Let me tell you, I don't know if YouTube, if they're on there, but if you ever want to laugh your ass off, just YouTube old Dan Aykroyd stuff from the early days of SNL. I mean, he was
Bassomatic. Him as Julia Child cutting her finger.
The blood all over the place.
That is awesome.
Great show. And now Saturday Night Live is just about politics and just horrendous. You couldn't make that show any worse if you tried. If you sent people in as comedic terrorists to destroy it, they couldn't get worse than that show has been the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's definitely fallen from grace.
Ugh. Horrid. Let it go.
I have another movie I thought of that's kind of takes me to the summertime. Mm-hmm. It's the only vampire movie that I really comes to mind when I think of summer right off the bat is The Lost Boys.
It's hard to think of vampire movies in summer because summer you think of sun.
Right.
But you're right.
Because they're at the shore, at the beach.
Yeah,
they're on motorcycles. You got the guy with the saxophone by the.
Oh my God. I think he was Shania Twain's saxophonist. I swear to God.
He was at Chiller. Like you could get your picture with him.
Was he?
Yeah.
How did I miss him?
I think he was like near the Rankin and Bass thing or something. I remember seeing him. I was like, hey.
Oh wait, no, you're right. He was in that room. I remember, and I was creeped out by him.
I was too busy. Like, I was looking for the Heat Miser and Snow Miser dolls.
I want to touch these dolls right now.
You ever see Club Dread?
I think I saw Club Dread, but I think I was drunk.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that's another summertime vacation.
I was trying to think like Friday the 13th movies, but they're always in like the fall.
Well, you know what it is? It's summer camp. So I thought of Friday the 13th, but then really Sleepaway Camp.
Girl penis.
And The Burning.
The Burning's great. George Costanza.
We got to watch that one. I haven't seen that in years.
Netflix used to have it, and that's why I didn't buy it. But I think they lost the rights to it, so I might have to buy it.
You know, it's another good summertime one is Humanoids from the Deep.
Oh, that's a great anytime movie.
Yeah.
Anytime you can have chemically altered salmon that are huge.
So, I was explaining
priests.
I was explaining some of the younger guys at work. Somehow ventriloquist dummies came up, and I said, if you ever want to see a great ventriloquist dummy scene, you got to watch Humanoids from the Deep, because this guy and this girl are going to get it on in a tent, but he's a ventriloquist, so he's talking to her, and she's getting dirty talk back and forth with the doll.
The puppet, yeah.
And then when they start to go at it, the doll actually looks at them, and then the monsters attack, and I just remember watching this going, this is the greatest thing ever filmed.
I know that doll. It has no place in this movie whatsoever. It's like, oh, so now the doll's sentient? What?
It's more realistic to think that giant salmon mutant monsters would attack a town than for that guy to get that
Get
shit.
laid?
Yeah.
I know, because she was well above his playing field. And I don't know how anybody cannot like movies with fishmen raping women constantly.
They just throw them down and start humping them on the beach, and you're just like, what the hell?
Oh my God, that movie's amazing. I saw that in a movie theater recently, like in the last 3 years, and just the hoots and hollers and cheering that were going on in that movie. I was like, and it's quick. It's like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. It's like in and out. And it's got Doug McClure. What more do you need?
I don't know.
Nothing. Jack, I want to ask you, has anything embarrassing ever happened to you at the beach? Just throwing this at left field. Or what's the craziest thing you ever did on the beach?
Well, at our beach, there's this inlet pond, and there's a little island in the middle with a statue of an eagle. And there was always a local legend that the family that originally owned the property, the Todds, that Mrs. Todd's head was buried under the statue and that her ghost haunted. So,
nice.
like when I was in high school, I was like, I want to step foot on that island, but nobody could go out there. So me and my two friends snuck into the beach, went over to the boat area, grabbed like a dinghy, put it in this pond, and rowed all the way out right up to the island. And just as I was about to live my dream of stepping on the island, my friend's little brother was with us. He started to freak out that the sleeping geese were going to attack us. And he was having like this panic attack. And meanwhile, like, if we get caught, like, there's cops and stuff. We're like not supposed to be there. He starts like yelling and shaking the boat and stuff like that. We're like, whoa. So like, I couldn't just tell him to shut the hell up. I literally had to abandon my quest like 5 feet from the island because he was started yelling. You know, and we got him back to shore, like slapping him, like, get together. So
jerk.
Yeah. So at least I broke into the beach, stole a boat, rowed it out to the island, and then turned around and came back.
Oh, that's so close. That's so close.
So
Would
close.
you go now as an adult?
Absolutely.
I think maybe we need to go.
Let's do it.
I have only skied one time in my life, and it was on a beach.
Oh my God.
We were in Jones Beach, and there was some event going on. And they set up huge ramps that were covered in ice in the sun.
Oh my God.
And then you could go. There was a radio station there, whatever, and anyone who wanted to go, if you did it, you got a T-shirt or whatever. So the only time I ever tried, I'm in a bathing suit. Of course, the minute I step off the ramp, I fall out of the skis and fall with your practically nude body down this ice. Oh my God, it hurt.
Oh.
It was horrible. I was covered in scratches and I was a mess. But I got a T-shirt out of it, so.
Yeah, T-shirt's good.
A beach full of people laughing at me. It was great. So when people go, oh, you want to go skiing? I'm like, no, I don't.
We used to go to Jones Beach once, like a summer, and we loved it because it was the big wave beach. You know,
yes.
We're in the Long Island Sound, so we don't get big waves. So you go there. However, if you go at the wrong time of year, it's like jellyfish season.
August.
Yeah.
It's called August.
You can't go in August. So if we went in August, you were like, yay! Woo! Ah!
We did that in Virginia Beach. We were on vacation. I was maybe 12. My sister was 8. So we're in Virginia Beach, and we're having a good time. They had decent waves. And then this series of waves wash over us. And I look at my sister, and I look at myself, and we're covered in brown seaweed. And then as one, us and hundreds of people start screaming at the top of our lungs. They're jellyfish. They're shaped like long ropes of seaweed. And in that rope are just dozens of stingers.
Oh.
And we are getting stung from head to toe, and we're running out of there. It looked like Jaws. Looked like the movie Jaws. People running, and we're tearing the stuff off of us. And I remember the lifeguard said to my parents, he said, well, the only thing that'll work is meat tenderizer. So parents took us back to the hotel. My father went to the store. He only had meat tenderizer with a lot of garlic. So we were covered in this stinky tenderizer, but it took the sting right out.
That's really good to know.
Yes.
Because the only cure I've ever heard is pee, yeah.
Yeah.
Chandler.
You don't have to be Monica Geller. But we did not swim in that water for the rest of the time. Could have cared less.
That's why when I watch The Shallows and Blake Lively is like swimming around jellyfish and stuff, I'm like, no way. You're all done. There's one jellyfish, there's 1,000, and there's no seeing it and getting around it. And a great white shark is not going to give a crap about jellyfish.
No. Yeah, you're right. There never is just one lonely jellyfish just walking around going, yeah, kind of broke away from the pack. No.
It's like a Welch's factory blew up in the water. Jelly everywhere.
I was going to say something. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. We're keeping this show PG, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
I think that's some pretty good recommendations.
That's a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good list. One last one I tag on.
Yeah.
The ruins, because they go on vacation. They're hanging out at the beach,
Mexico,
and then they go to the lesson here. Don't go to the sightseeing. Stay at the beach and drink.
You don't need to see the pyramids. You don't need to see the pyramids.
That's another movie with two gorgeous chicks in it too.
Great movie, even better book.
I got to read that book. That's
way better book. In fact, most people put that on their top 10 of horror novels of all time. Believe it
or not. You're my number one guy. All right, that's a good one. So listen.
It's been a long time. There we go. I can surprised you took the glasses off. I wanted to see them on the whole time.
Listen, I wanted to Caruso you.
Let me play some Who.
All right, good list. So, I guess with that, we'll bid you farewell and adieu, you fair Spanish ladies, as Quint might sing.
We got some Puerto Rican girls that is giant to meet you. Summer movies, summertime. We're back, and we're not leaving, guys and girls.
And we'll see you next time on
Monster Men.